Proffessors is brought to you by TrollandToad.com, MTGMintCard.com, CardHorder.com, and Jiffy's Photo and Baseball Cards. Shards of Alara is here and known, and it looks extremely tasty, so have your mouse on the order button at TrollandToad.com, MTGMintCard.com, and CardHorder.com, or support the show and head on down to Jiffy's Photo and Baseball Cards today. Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another episode of Planeswalking with the Professors. This week, as we get ready to head down to Memphis, Tennessee in only a few weeks, we'll take a look at a couple of cards of my own creation. But we'll also take a look at some more limited sealed deck building, so let's draw. Many months ago in a galaxy far, far away where I sucked at podcasting, okay, so at least about 8 months ago, there existed this other podcast aside from Planeswalk with the Professors and Stack being the Ahoy podcast. Originally, the podcast began as a bi-weekly show that drolled on about in-depth mechanics and flavor and details about the little lines in the back of the card frames and, well, I have no idea what the hell I was talking about. However, how is this different from now, you may be asking? Well, this is because this podcast was focused on an infinitesimally more boring subject, being the Ahoy set. Okay, so to be fair, the Ahoy set wasn't all that boring, and I'm still trying to get this idea across to people, but it was a custom set, and as a result, caused many people to be drawn away. However, like the rest of Magic, this set taught me a lot about evaluating different cards, because it showed what any kind of burn spell was really worth, what every land and standard could really do, and the process by which these decisions were made, and how they affected the outcomes of many games. Now, I'm not saying this was great for teaching someone how to play Magic, as it could get pretty confusing at times, and as a result pushed me away at times too. However, when you are designing and going as far as to playtest a set, you gain a mentality in the deck building process that can never be matched. It puts you above the creation and the players that just play the game. It makes you the creator. So today we're going to take a look at 4 new and innovative cards I've created. The first one's a card of a 5-card cycle.
I would, you know, if I could be good if you only...
When this concept was in development, me and Andrew knew that a card that had a great deal of options was required. For example, the command cycle was great for this reason, as while not only getting rid of restrictions on mana costs, but also not restricting what a card in its color does. For example, Cryptic Man did absolutely everything a blue card should do, from getting your card advantage while countering spells to slowing down your opponent and fighting those pesky aggro decks. Magnificence of the Empire does just that. Of course, for 1 mana, 1 life isn't what you'd be looking for, as 1 mana for 3 life isn't really what many people look for. That doesn't mean you can't hold onto it in your grip and play it when you're in a ridiculously tight spot. However, for 3 white mana, you can then tap 3 creatures and get just an inch ahead by gaining the life necessary to pull through. Next, of course, is the most important and magnificent magnificence of them all, being the blue one, Magnificence of the Sea.
With me and all of my amps, we made the various camps.
1 mana for drawing a card is, once again, slightly under what we would normally see for 1 mana, but of course it is at instant speed, which is always nice. Then of course for the 2 blue mana you can slow an opponent and draw a card. A nice twist. Then of course the final blue icing on the cake, for the 3 blue mana when you get to remove soul, cantrip, and twiddle. Not bad. But what could a card such as this do in an aggro assortment? Let's see.
So blistering hot, the horse would ask for a shot. I'm hearing the same loud...
Skipping over the black and red Magnificence to the green Magnificence card, we see Magnificence of the Wild. For 1 green mana, you are able to, in the early game if necessary, give a creature a +2/+2, on the second turn accelerate to a 3-drop, and in the late game get a beast. And remember, these abilities can be stacked however you want, so that means you can stack a 5/5 instant beast. Magnificence of the Wild, as well as the other Magnificence cards, show the true amount of skill that are required to play it. Many new players, I'm sure, would say something like, oh, look, I can play this card for 1 mana. That means I can play it for 1 and give my creature +2/+2, so I can get a bigger creature. Yay. Well, some players would say that they could wait until the next turn and get the mana acceleration ability. On the other hand, the best of players would have the correct timing to gauge when and how they would use these Magnificence cards in coordinates with everything else in their hand. So, what's the right choice? You decide. Speaking of choices, a fourth card that exhibits the amazing ability of choice is Pangea.
Boom. Why, I just awoke in my room. I'm here to play.
This card has used some crazy skill tests. On one hand, you have some players saying, hey look, now I have 2 Pangeas, that means I can tap for any color twice. Oh wait a minute, they're legendary. Other players will, however, trick an opponent by having out a swamp, then tapping it, floating a black, putting Pangea into play, and tapping for a blue to play a crazy combat trick. Another trick that me and Andrew thought was a fun note was that in addition to being able to return lands, you could of course return your own Pangea, as if states that this effect takes place before it comes into play. See, Wizards, there's no need for purple.
I don't know. I really think that we have Marble Chalice, Soul's Grace, and everything we could use Grail Vitality.
I'm pretty sure we're keeping the Soul's Fire right now.
At least cancel.
The Soul's Fire.
Yeah, I don't know. Cancel spell stem. I'm leaning towards a cancel.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards
it's late turn.
If I'm gonna go with Blue Splash, I'd rather go all out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
4.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28, 29, 30. Okay, 30, we're definitely cutting out the Rockcaster platoon, because
That's not going to be useful if...
it's not that...
Yeah.
We're going to take the other 7 drops, especially because I cycle. Mastodon's definitely in. I don't know, what do you think about the Yoked Plow Beast, Jungle Weaver? We're definitely going to have the Sigil late game.
You want the Sigil, no matter what color you're playing. You need the Sigil there.
And if you want Jungle Weaver...
If we, I think Sunseed Nurture's out. The Sigil really sets us up for a lot of stuff. If we don't get it though, it's pretty bad. We're definitely going to be doing a lot early game. So we're definitely going to be taking out some 3 drops and possibly some 2 drops. The Firestoker I personally like, because it's the 2 damage can get you there, but then again it is kind of slow. But also again I think the mana acceleration is really there, because 4th turn Mastodon or 6th turn Jungle Weaver Plow Beast is pretty ridiculous. And also the Gariel can get to a 5/5.
Easily.
Being that it's got the Shroud, it's going to get to 5/5. Right now we have to decide, is this deck going to be the beatdown, or is it going to be the wait to get your Yokes, Plow Beast, and the Jungle Weaver? Because I think a lot of people are really trying to be fast in this format. 27 cards, we're looking at 17 lands I think here, right?
Sure.
It may be 18. Not sure. This is difficult, because I know some people are going to have like the nuts that we just can't beat. But then again, the chance of them getting the nuts is the chance of us getting the Sigil, and we can run them over with the Sigil.
Yeah, the Sigil, it's not like for this turn. It lasts a long time.
Yeah.
As if this Sigil just lasts till the end of the turn. It's going to be a card that's going to be like taking up your hand.
I think we're going to cut the Lightning Talons for right now. The Steward of Valoron among 2 drops, it's between just about that and the Elvish Visionary. Because the Elvish Visionary draws a card, but we've also got the 1/1 over 2/2 issue.
I think pull out an Elvish Visionary just because you have another one.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we do have some card draw, so I agree that it's, I think...
How many cards do you have cycling?
4 and 2 draw cards. So
Then you should be good.
Yeah, we're going to be good.
Getting rid of the Elvish Visionary.
Yeah. The thing I didn't really take note of is we have the Battle Mage to tap them out, which I think is a real advantage on our part.
I like all battle mages. That's my favorite. Like every battle mage I could ever come across, I usually put in my deck.
Yeah. The Steward, I'm unsure about removing, because he's a 2/2, he's got Vigilance, and he taps for mana for green. So I think we're going to need like 3 mana producers in here, and right now we've got, I count the Fate Stitcher as 1.
Steward is 1.
2, 3, 4. So
We should be good.
I don't know. Cutting out the Druid of Anima is kind of iffy, because if we do, then getting the Johnny's a bit more difficult. And We're about even with red and green here.
Yeah, but red's going to be a much earlier game decision.
Yeah, so...
Because green comes on a lot later.
The Dragon Fodder's definitely in, because while it doesn't have a place in Devouring, it has a place in the Hissing Iguanar, the Rock Slide Elemental, the Algae Gharial, and just chump blocking or attacking. This is pretty tough. I think our next thing on the list that I might consider taking out is Rock Slide Elemental, because it's so prone to removal.
That's not going to get high at all. Once it gets to a 3/3, it's going to be a very pretty big target.
So, among other things, this is something that we're going to take out. The Visionary, once again, do we want to be... We have the Fodder, we have the Knight of the Skyward Eye, we have the Druid of Anima. We really have what our 2-drops are trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, Visionary's pretty good to take out.
Okay, I'll offer taking out Spell Step and going and eating lasagna now. Yes! Okay, Spell Step. Take out Spell Step, go 5 forests, 5 mountains, 4 islands, 3 plains.